Yo, what is up guys, Gray here, and today we have got our week 4 battle of the UPBA. We are going up against JBWestside, and a really great guy, great content creator. Make sure to go check him out, links will be down below. And after last week's just abysmal display, I really wanted to come back in this one and prove that I could actually do something decent, I guess. I felt we had a decent matchup, and there's no team builder just because this battle was about 2 weeks ago, breaking the fourth wall, and I don't really remember what any of the spreads were for. And I swear I say this in every battle, so I should really start just like making a note of every EV spread and what it's for and all that sort of stuff. But maybe one day I will actually do that. You never know. But going through his team, he's got Tapu Koko, Latios, Ferrothorn, Hawlucha, Arcanine, Snorlax, Swampert, Cofagrigus, Cryogonal, Mega Absol, and Gothorita. His users being Tapu Koko, Cryogonal, and Gothorita. So, looking at his team, I thought the matchup was actually pretty decent because Hawlucha doesn't actually have a great matchup against me, and that's always nice when you don't have to worry too much about Hawlucha. Koko was an issue, Latios was an issue. Things like Snorlax, Curselax was a bit of a problem. Mega Absol did really well against my team. And surprisingly, Gothorita I thought was actually a really big issue for my team. Mostly because the way that I built this team, it kind of struggled, like it kind of just beat it. I'm not gonna lie. I had to hope that Gothorita wasn't gonna turn up, and fortunately, as you can see by on the screen, it's not there. And I think I did actually take a sigh of relief when I saw there was no Gothorita on the field. But yeah, going into the team that I built, we had sort of a weird Heatran spread. It's max HP and then quite bulky, around 100 in special defense, 36 in defense, modest nature of 116 in special attack. And this was mainly just, I think, to take on a lot of his other threats, the things that he didn't bring so much. Tapu Koko, I think, is what the special defense is there for. I couldn't tell you what any of the rest of it's for, but you know, it's there. Magma Storm, Earth Power, Dragon Pulse, and Stealth Rock this week. Stealth Rock is nice if I get a chance to set it up, but it's not really like the most necessary thing in the world. He does have reasonably good removal, I guess. Not the best, but Tapu Koko, Defog, and Cryogonal with Rapid Spin. I kind of felt like one of those was going to be running that move anyway, so I felt like Rocks wasn't necessary in this game, but at the same time, I wanted to have it just in case, like if the opportunity arose to get Rocks up after his Cryogonal, or even his Latios actually can get Defog, and he has Magic Bounce in Mega Absol, so the chances are quite limited of me getting the Stealth Rock up. But yeah, it's just there. Magma Storm is my strongest stab move against the team. Earth Power obviously there for things like the Tapu Koko and the Arcanine as well. Dragon Pulse with the Dragonium Z, I didn't know if I mentioned Dragonium Z or not. Dragon Pulse with Dragonium Z means that after potential rocks, then Arcanine is a roll to kill depending on what set he is, and Latios as well, which could be a switch into it, will die, and Swampert takes like a good like half from it. So it's not really there to be like a sweeper or anything, it's just here to do some damage and potentially set up rocks. Next up we've got Mega Latias, and that's running Psychic, Shadow Ball, Recover, and Calm Mind. Pretty much max defensive this week, with a little bit in special attack, a little bit in special defense, but not a lot. This is mainly just like, if he isn't running Raw or anything, this set can actually do a lot of work. It does struggle against half his team, but if he only runs like knockoff on Mega Absol, he's not running the Sucker Punch tool, then he's going to struggle to take it down. Latios is obviously an issue. I can't easily set up on that. Cryogonal is set up fodder for me, because I don't expect it to be running like a modest max special attack set, and in that case I can actually set up on it. Snorlax might be an issue if it's already set up, but after 2 Calm Minds, a Psychic will actually do like half to Soul Vest set, I think I want to say it was. And obviously Tapu Koko doesn't appreciate Psychic. Shadow Ball was there for mainly the things that he didn't bring, like it was almost entirely there for the Gothorita, I think, in the end. Just so if Gothorita trapped me in, I could still Calm Mind up on it and kill it with Shadow Ball. But I just needed like some kind of fail-safe, because Gothrita actually checked my Mega Latias before I put Shadow Ball on it, and it could just Toxic Storm me. So next up we got Keldeo with Fistplate, Scold, Secret Power, yep, Secret Sword, Icy Wind, and Toxic. Modest max special attack and enough speed, I believe, to outspeed any kind of creeps on my Rotom Mo. So I could have run Jolly this week and outsped. Did he have any base 100s? Oh no, to outspeed Arcanine, like to guarantee that. But I felt like his Arcanine was probably just going to be, if it was going to be run offensively, it would be speed creeping Rotom Mo. So that's why I went with the spread I did. Fistplate just means that Secret Sword is hitting as hard as possible without being choice locked or Life Orb. I didn't want to give away my item too early, just to kind of make him maybe think that I'm scarfed. But if I go for Secret Sword at any point, he's probably going to know that I've got some kind of boosting item. It does well against Cryogonal, it does well against the Snorlax. It's my main check to Snorlax. If Snorlax comes in, then I send Keldeo in straight away. It's a little bit risky, but I don't really have too many other options. If it sets up a curse, then I'm in trouble. Basically, if it sets up a curse before something else on my team can deal with it, then yeah, the Snorlax is going to become a problem. Secret Sword is kind of the thing that's going to be hitting most of his team hardest. Hits the Mega Absol as well, obviously, and does the most damage to his Swampert, so I felt like just going Fistplate to boost that. Next up we've got Choice Scarf, Hooper Unbound, with Zen Headbutt, Hyperspace Fury, Drain Punch, and Knockoff. Dual Dark Stab this week, and triple Stab overall. But running a Jolly Choice Scarf set, I think it's just to outspeed everything on his team. I think it's probably there to outspeed Coco at max speed, I think maybe spread is. So I've got quite a bit of HP investment, and this thing does just kind of go in once it's in the right position. So I need to check out for a Coco set. I think there's things like the Ferrothorn was going to be able to check it. If his Coco goes down, then he has no switches in, to a Hyperspace Fury. Swampert can take 2, I want to say, but it doesn't really like appreciate taking that damage. It's mainly going to be there to check other things. But yeah, it kind of it can be a late game sweeper if I need it to be. I need to scout for any Scarfers. Expecting probably that Latios even to be scarfed, and if that thing's scarfed, then it might be a bit of a problem, depending on what set it's running. So Coco as well, if that's scarfed, then that's an issue, but I don't think he's going to be running Scarf Coco in this match. I could be wrong, but I don't think he would be. Next up we've got Gligar. It's just kind of a standard physically defensive Gligar, nothing too fancy about it. It's Earthquake, Acrobatics, Taunt, and Roost. Of course holding the Eviolite. This week I felt like it was safer to run Eviolite and not run any kind of gimmick set that may work. So yeah, Acrobatics is there for, if he brings in his Mega Absol and knocks me off, then I can do a ton of damage to Mega Absol, but it also means that then I can switch him towards his Hawlucha in case he brings it, and Acrobatics will do like 80% minimum, I think. I try to remember the set. Actually no, I think after the Electric Seed it does like 60%. But Acrobatics seems like my best option in case he really wanted to go for a Swords Dance on me. Then at least I can punish that, and I can then go like into something else and try and pick up the KO. Because I do have things that can live at +2 Acrobatics quite easily, but I would need damage first. And yeah, Gligar is kind of just there for like that sort of, like his physical checks basically. Clefable is the last one, and this thing is disgusting in this matchup. If you look at his team, if he doesn't run any phasing moves, there is nothing to stop me from setting up. He didn't have a poison type, and he had Ferrothorn as his only steel type, and the way that I EV'd my Clefable was that no matter what set he was running, Gyro Ball would not 2-hit KO me after a Cosmic Power, and it's pretty much just game at that point. So yeah, I'm running Moonblast, Cosmic Power, Calm Mind, and Soft Boil double setup this week, just because if I didn't run Calm Mind, then there was things that could come in, and like Curslax would be able to beat me, Ferrothorn probably would be able to beat me just like through attrition, and yeah, it was a bad time. So I thought I'd run Calm Mind as well. That way I can boost up my special attack, and if he doesn't have any phasing moves, I think the only phasing moves he had was Raw Arcanine, Raw Swampert, and Whirlwind on Snorlax. So If he wasn't running any of them, then this set kind of just wins. Once it gets to sets +2. +2 Cosmic Power, +1 Calm Mind, I think just won the game. And if he then goes into Snorlax, if it's like a Assault Vest set, or if it's a standard Curse-Lax set, he is going to eventually be able to do a ton of damage to me, but at the same time Moonblast is going to be doing a ton of damage in return, and he would have to set up after I've set up. So like the worst he can do is set up to +6. I can also set up to +6 with Cosmic Power, and he's doing like 30%. So yeah, Clefable is kind of my win con this week, but let's get into the battle and see how we did. And I'm not going to lie, you can probably tell by the length of the video, this is going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one, and to not spoil it too much, it's going to be a bit of a salty one as well. The ending of this battle was not, I think, how we both wanted it to end. So yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. Looking at the matchup, I saw no reason to lead with anything other than Keldeo. If he decides to lead with his Tapu Koko, I got safe switches at the start of the battle, they're all healthy. So I felt like it was fine to just lead off with my Keldeo and go for a Scald, because there's nothing really on his team that wants to take a Scald. Trying to remember what his team was, or he looked at it. Latios seemed like the most obvious switch into it, but at the same time, like, Scald would have done a decent chunk, and as you can see, actually that Scald does a reasonable amount of damage, and I did expect him just to set up his Stealth Rocks. My team isn't too weak to it, but it can be a little bit annoying. 12% chip on like more than half my team is a little bit annoying, but it's really not the end of the world. I do have recovery on 2 of those mons as well, so here he makes a brave switch, because I was very close to just clicking Secret Sword. I don't know if he thought I was Choice Scarf. That's what I mean by having a Fist Plate on it, because it doesn't boost my Scald. So he probably thought, oh yeah, this must be a Choice Scarf Keldeo. Only reason I led with it is in case I led with Koko, then I was Scarf to outspeed it anyway. But no, I was very close to clicking Secret Sword there. Had I clicked it, this battle would have been very different, because actually his Cryogonal was a little bit annoying. Instead I get a Toxic, which is not bad. Getting a Toxic off on anything on his team was always going to be good, so that's why I went with it on that turn. And I didn't want to take a Freeze Dry. I know I could go straight onto my Clefable, and in the one mock I did, one of the 2 mocks I did for this, Cryogonal was basically set up fodder. So at this point, I'm going to go out into my Clefable, and I'm going to pretty much try to go for game on turn 2. I think I'm going to start setting up Cosmic Powers here, and unless he reveals to have Raw and anything, then yeah, Clefable is about to just kind of go in, pretty much. And I know I actually double out. I don't know why I doubled. I think maybe in fear of the Z Flash Cannon. So I didn't want to set up before the in front of it, because I hadn't seen Leftovers, and I can't remember. But I had seen Leftovers from Toxic. I don't know. I wasn't paying full attention, I don't think, in this battle, because there's a couple of little errors I make that really could have been avoidable. Had I seen the Leftovers, I think I kind of just won. I didn't just win. I think I definitely was in a better position if I went for the Cosmic Power. He's going to go for the Earthquake, because I make my switch into Keldeo. Like I said, that is my switch. And I'm just going to throw off a Secret Sword. I have no reason to do anything else. It does hit most of his team for good damage. And as you can see, that does a good chunk to his Latios. So he's actually going to double out. I don't know what he was expecting there, because Latios actually just kind of got to click buttons against my team and do a ton of damage. But I'm going to go out into my Gligar on what I was expecting to be like a Draco Meteor Stone. I felt like Gligar was kind of the least necessary member of my team this week, just because its only check was really Mega Absol. If his Snorlax was cursed with Ice Punch, then I was in trouble. So I felt like it was kind of not as necessary, and I did see it as an opportunity for me to get my Clefable in, and I'm going to go for the Cosmic Power this turn and just scout out to see if he has the Raw or not, because this again can be set up fodder if he isn't running Raw. I've seen Scald, Earthquake and Stealth Rock, so I felt like it's quite likely his last move it was either going to be Ice Punch or Raw, and I did feel like Raw was quite likely, but setting up the Cosmic Power meant that if he goes for Raw next turn, I can get a Soft Boiled up before I get Rawed out, and if he doesn't have it, then I can soft boil it up and be in a position to actually win the game. So yeah, we're going to get our leftovers. I'm going to grab a drink quickly. And the fact that I went first there made it obvious that he was going for raw, because I'm a relaxed nature. I looked over there just to see what nature I was. I was relaxed nature with 6 IVs in my speed, just because of the Ferrothorn. And so if I was to outspeed him, he was obviously running like relaxed with no EVs. He may be running relaxed anyway, but I don't think he was running no EVs at all. Yeah, so I'm going to just make a bit of an O prediction. I think the Latios is coming back in, so I go for the Icy Wind. It's nice if the Lati does come back in. It does do... just pause it. It does do some good damage on the Lati and will slow it down to a point which his Choice Scarf doesn't really matter. At this point I don't know if he's Choice Scarf or not, but I'm kind of just assuming from the team matchup that it might well be Scarfed. So I go for the Icy Wind. Unfortunately he doesn't switch out, he stays in with Swampert, and my Keldeo is very, very low now. It doesn't take a hit, so it's no longer really a check to anything on his team. So I just use this opportunity to get a Toxic off, and at least I'm whittling down this Swampert. So after I saw Raw, I knew what my game plan was. It was to take down this Swampert and then to set up with Clefable, because it was fairly obvious, I think, at this point that he didn't have anything else to stop my Clefable outside of like critting me effectively. Like, getting a crit would suck, but it's part of the game. If I set up and then just got blown back by, I don't know, a crit from Tapu Koko, then it is what it is. But my best game plan at the moment is to try and get this Swampert as low as possible. Now, I've seen all 4 of his moves. I know that he's probably going to expect me to want to set up, thinking that he can't hit me, so it seems like free setup. But instead I'm just going to go for the Psychic. I'm going to get as much damage off on this Swampert as I possibly can, as I get rolled out into my Heatran, and here is like a 50-50 play on his part, I feel. He really feels like he needs a Swampert, and he does. He does need the Swampert at this point. If he loses Swampert, then he pretty much loses to Clefable. If he... so he can't really keep this in, and the Dragonium Z was initially there for the Arcanine switch in. It was there for a Latios switch in. So I thought there's no real harm in just clicking the Z at the moment, because if he decides to go out into his Latios, it will kill it. If he decides to bring in his Tapu Koko, then good play on his behalf. And if he stays in, he just dies. So I see this as a kind of a no drawback play. I'm just going to click the Dragonium Z, and I'm thinking he's probably going to expect the Grassium Z of me, and not want to keep his Swampert in. Either that or like Power Herb Solar Beam, but that's not really a tech that anyone uses anymore. Yes, he does actually go out into his Latios, so clicking the Z there was absolutely the play, and getting rid of this Latios was getting rid of one of the bigger threats on his team. Especially because after the game I think I found out this was a Calm Mind set, so I actually could set up with my Clefable and potentially just beat it. But yeah, getting rid of this was getting rid of one of the biggest threats on his team. I felt quite comfortable in the battle after getting rid of it, and knowing that his Swampert was at a low amount of health, it's not going to be able to take a hit, and Toxic Poisoning particularly well. I felt like I was in a good position. So he goes back out into his Snorlax and makes a really good read actually. He reads me going into my Gligar and goes for the Ice Punch. Had I just gone for Magna Storm, I think that probably it wouldn't have done much. It's a Snorlax, so he knew that I didn't have anything for him effectively. So that was a safe play, but after a Roost I'm only going to be times 2 effect. Times 2 weak to hit this Ice Punch, and it's going to do far less. And yeah, I'm quite happy to just take that hit, and now I'm going to switch straight out into my Clefable, I believe, because yeah, Clefable again is just like such a safe switch into most of his team, and he's actually going to make a double as well, reading me to switch out, but he goes into his Cryogonal, and I know for a fact that again I can set up a Cosmic Power in front of this thing and be absolutely fine. I think it was at this point I realised actually he has leftovers. I could have just stayed in earlier, but it is what it is. one of those little things that I just didn't acknowledge at the time, and I got to get better at actually just writing everything down so I know exactly what everything's got. But I'm going to go for a Cosmic Power again. If he wants to go out into a Swampert, that's fine, because I can get a Moonblast on him, and at this point he is kind of... he's going to die. Eventually he's going to die to just attrition, and the Toxic Poisoning is certainly helping. I'm going to throw off a Moonblast. I have no reason to do anything else. I'm at max health. If he wants to throw off an Earthquake or something, then that just puts me in a great position. He has to roar here. And that would then leave him at a point where he can't take a hit from anything on my team. He's slower than everything on my team. So yeah, his Swampert is at this point effectively dead. And I see no reason to really make a prediction. In hindsight, 100% should have been running Gunk Shot on this. Just because Gunk Shot really prevented him from going out to Tapu Koko, and Koko was an issue for my team. Not gonna lie, it was a bit of an issue. But we are going to get rid of the Swampert. He had no reason to keep it around at that point. It's so low, I think it just died to Toxic Poisoning. So yeah, he's going to go out as Koko, and I am not in the business of taking a U-turn in this, because I think I take one, but I take like 70% from a U-turn. One thing with Tapu Koko, with Hooper Unbound, is that it really does not appreciate any kind of switching around. U-turn just destroys its life. And as you can see, it does big damage to my Gligar, so the switch was fine. I kind of expected him to switch into, to go for a Hidden Power Ice there, predicting my switch, but I was quite happy to sack off my Gligar again. And he's going out into his Cryogonal. This looks like the most obvious Freeze Dry I've ever seen in my life, so I'm not in the business of taking this. I did want to kind of call his bluff and stay in and go for an Earthquake, but I saw no upside to it. And so I'm just going to double straight out into my Heatran, I want to say. Yeah, I didn't expect him. No, I went straight out to my Hooper, because if he wants to throw off a Hidden Power Ground, expecting my Heatran to come in, then Hooper takes it. Takes a Freeze Dry just fine as well, and it gives me the most defensive pressure on this team. So I see no reason to not throw off a Drain Punch. Having Gunk Shot there would have been really nice, because I could have just clicked Gunk Shot and got rid of Tapu Koko, because I didn't expect him to stay in. I was kind of hoping he would, because Absol is an issue for my team. But unfortunately, he does go out into his Tapu Koko, and this time I go out to my Heatran in case he goes for the Hidden Power Ice, expecting my Gligar to come out. I do have two solid switches, and he goes for the U-turn again. So it's going to do some big damage to my Heatran. That U-turn chip is really kind of wearing away at my team. It's yeah, Stealth Rock and U-turn is just doing so much. But he goes out into his Mega Absol, and I really could not let this thing set up at all. I was just going to go for a Magma Storm to be able to take down, as long as I hit, I took down the Mega Absol. He goes for Swords Dance, and fortunately for me, he just goes for Superpower. And with that play, though Heatran goes down, Heatran is actually a really nice switch into Koko. He would have had to kill me with either like a Hidden Power Ground or a Superpower, and I felt like after a Superpower, I was in a really good position, because if he had -1, and that lets my Clefable in, and since his one thing to phase out my Clefable is gone, Cosmic Powering on it would actually mean that eventually I can actually win this battle, win like the 1v1 between me and this Absol. But it does give me like a head start. He's going to be at -1. I'm going to be able to set up to +1 if he wants to just go for the Iron Tail, and like he's going to be like, he knows that I'm going to know that he has Iron Tail effectively, and he's going to be scared of the Moonblast because the Moonblast is a 1-hit KO. So I'm expecting him just to go for the Iron Tail his first turn. I'm not expecting him to go for a Swords Dance. If he does, that's a bit scary. But next turn I'll just take him out. It wouldn't be the prime situation, but there is ways around it in which I can still win if I have to drop my Clefable down low. And yeah, we're in a pretty good position now, because I'm at +1, even with Swords Dance. After this next Cosmic Power, I'm going to be in like the driver's seat. I'm still going to be in a good position. And that Iron Tail did far too much damage. It put me actually much lower than I'm willing to be at, so I'm going to go for the soft boiled. I do expect him to go for the Swords Dance here. I kind of expected him to do it on that turn. And there was a little bit of scouting with the Cosmic Power just to try and see if he had Swords Dance. So had he clicked it a turn earlier, I would probably not have had as much health going into his next Pokemon, because After seeing the Swords Dance, I could have Cosmic Powered again, expecting him to go for an Iron Tail, but I really couldn't risk him going for another Swords Dance. That would put me in a worse position than if I just kill him off here. So he does go for the Iron Tail this turn. I could have gone for another Cosmic Power, but really was not worth it at all. I think that was a losing battle, trying to keep up with a Swords Dance Absol. I just go for the Moonblast and I just take it down. At +2, I'm actually still in a really good position. I think unless he is Choice Specs Tapu Koko, then he can't take me down. I think if he's Choice Specs or Life Orb, then Koko is an issue, but we've seen that it's not Life Orb. And he has only clicked U-turn, so I have no idea what this thing is. I think it might be Choice Locked, but as it turns out, he's actually Taunt, and this Taunt is really annoying, but at least I got leftovers to give me some health back. I'm in a position where I don't get 2-hit KO'd by a Thunderbolt, but I do 2-hit KO with Moonblast. The only issue is that I'm unobservant, and we're going to see what I mean in a second, because the first Moonblast goes off, does like half to him, and at this point I'm like, okay, well, second Moonblast will take him out. I'm still in a really good position, because I just need to make sure that I stall out the Taunt. And I get Moonblast and his Tapu Koko is gone. And that leaves him with Cryogonal and Snorlax. Both things I can win with the rest of my team. I don't need Clef particularly, but at the same time my differential is not great. And as you just saw, excuse me, yeah, the Taunt wears off on that turn. The Taunt wears off and I don't notice. And that is huge. That is massive. That effectively turns the entire game. One little bit of bad observation. I think I went to write down the kill after that turn and didn't notice that the Taunt had worn off. But to preserve differential, because I think, so Freeze Dry would 2-hit KO me from where I was at. It did like 10%, like a mid-roll, so I wasn't doing particularly great. I was on like 12%, I want to say. And two of them had a good chance to knock me out. However, had I seen that the Taunt had worn off, I would have just gone for Soft Boiled and I won the game. Effectively from there I just set up Carmines and won the game. But unfortunately I didn't, and so I go out into my Hooper thinking it's a safe switch, and he gets a freeze. So from what was looking, if I had just read that the Taunt had worn off, I'd been in such a good place. Like, had he not got had he not frozen me as well, then I would be in a fantastic position with Clefable. I'd be in a fantastic position with Hooper. He does switch out here. I think he knows that he can't, like, he's got a chance of just being OHKO'd with Drain Punch, as I'm 100% clicking it here. And I don't want to just let my Hooper go down. I want to like give it a chance. And I go out into my Gligar. I have to kind of sack this thing off just to kind of get somewhere. Fortunately, I do live one return, and that does mean that I can go for a move. I think I go for a Taunt here, I want to say. I know, I just go for the Earthquake, and forgetting Cryogonal has got Levitate, so that was a dumb play. I should have just clicked Acrobatics and done some damage. But yeah, I forgot Cryogonal gets Levitate. Not ideal, but I'm just going to let this Cryogonal take me down. I have no reason to keep Gligar around at this point. Had I roosted on that other turn, maybe I had a chance to keep it around, but it is what it is. I don't think Gligar had like anything really left to do in this battle. He's going to be racking up a little bit of Toxic Poison damage, and I see this as my chance to go into Mega Lati, and potentially now I can set up and win. I need to set up like 2 Carmines to be in a good position. As you're going to see, this Freeze Dry does like no damage at all. I can see I can go for a Carmine, and unfortunately for me, I do need to get up to +2 to be able to 2-hit KO Snorlax, which means I do have to recover on this turn because he outspeeds me, and then I need to Carmine again, which gives him a chance to actually do a ton of damage with Ice Punch or Return in return, and it's not like the best situation, but I'm kind of having to make do with the position I'm in. Again, all this could have been avoided if I had just gone for Soft Boiled and read that the Taunt wasn't. The Taunt was over, but it is what it is. Here he's going to go for Return, I believe. That's a very good chunk of damage to me. This turns out to be, I think, an adamant Snorlax with a decent amount of attack investment. It doesn't look like a lot, but it does add up. I think it's that third Calm Mind. I can't remember how many Calm Minds I set up in this, and maybe that one was a little bit greedy, because now he goes for the Toxic, and that's an issue. I actually thought maybe he was AV, because I had seen Ice Punch, Earthquake, and Return, so I thought maybe he's Assault Vest, and he doesn't have any way of stopping this Lati from setting up. I think that was my thought at the time, and unfortunately, like, Psychic's going to be doing a really good chunk of damage, but I kind of need to keep Lati healthy to take on the Cryogonal as well. This is where having a Hooper Unbound that's not frozen would have been absolutely ideal. But I still won the game. That switch was a situation in which I still won the game. I just clicked Drain Punch until this thing died, pretty much. He doesn't have any recovery. He's running like a non-curse Berry set or Rest Talk set. And unfortunately, because of the situation that I'm currently in, I feel like it's best to not kill this Snorlax. Because if I don't kill the Snorlax, I can bring in my Clefable, and I can soft-boiled, and I can pretty much try and get to a position where I'm at +2 Cosmic Power, I'm at +2 with Moonblast, and do enough damage. But it was at this point, I was like, the timer was about 20 minutes, I want to say. Probably a little bit less than that at this point, because the battle has been a long one. Quite a lot of stalling, and here I'm just recovering. I'm just effectively making it so he has to take me down with the poison, because if I take down the Snorlax, it allows the Cryogonal win, and his Cryogonal can just win if I don't defrost with Hooper, and I'm not really about that kind of... those maths don't suit me at all. So I decided that my best play is to let my Mega Lati go down, and to be able to get my Clefable in, and just soft-boiled and try and win this way. It's again going to be very stally, and there's going to be pretty much the rest of this battle, I'm just going to warn you now, is effectively me trying to get into a position where I can actually start setting up and then setting up effectively. If I set up a Cosmic Power, then he's not going to be doing enough and I can start setting up, but at the moment I'm just not at the range of health to be able to do that. So yeah, I can eventually get to a point where I can set up a Cosmic Power and be fine. I think it's this turn or it's the next turn that I start setting up, but it's still like the timer is going down, and I think around here I said to JB, like, I'm not trying to stall, it's not a game I can win if I try and timer stall, and he was like, well, this might be my only chance to win is to timer stall, so he was taking the full 90 seconds on every turn, which was a drag, and I was like trying to work it out in my head whether or not I had enough time to take down this Snorlax, and it was going to be close. If we had a ruling of no timer stall, which I'm very much, after this battle, tempted to put in, because this was just a grueling, like, 20 minutes of my life, just trying to get in a position where Clefable was going to be able to do enough, because I do still have that Hooper in the back, so if I can take down this Snorlax, I win on timer stall, but I'm just not in that position to be able to do it. I'm setting up as much as I can, I'm really trying, but the timer is getting lower and lower and lower, and I need 2 Calm Minds, I think, to be able to put myself in a position of 3-hit KOing this Snorlax, judging off the psychic damage from earlier. I need like 2 or 3, I can't remember how many Calm Minds to be able to 3-hit KO it. And the time is really kind of running down. Like, I need to keep clicking soft boiled on some turns just to keep myself alive, and it's for him it's just clicking return over and over and taking as much time as he can off the clock, and unfortunately, like, it's looking more and more like, I think at this time about 5 minutes left, and I think I've only got about 4 turns. I've got to set one more Calm Mind, and then I've got to start attacking. I've got to start doing some damage, but unfortunately, just like the way that it is at the moment, I need to softball one more time, because he's just doing so much damage. Like, if he was running no attack investment at all, then I'd be in a really good spot, because he wouldn't be doing enough damage to be able to 3-hit KO me, or whatever he was doing at this point. Like, he'd be doing very little damage, and I'd be able to start clicking Moonblast earlier, but because he has the adamant nature and the attack investment, this just makes it even harder to take down. But I am now in a position where I can start clicking Moonblast. I think there's about 2 minutes left on the clock, so I'm just here spamming and just hoping that he decides to make a move earlier. You can see how much damage that does. It does enough to 3-hit KO at this point, but it's just not going to be enough. I'm not going to be ever at a range of health which is enough for me to be able to win this battle. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, and I believe this is the last turn. I go for Moonblast. I was hoping for a crit. If I crit this turn, then I win, but unfortunately, just not going to happen. He's going for a return, and that is actually going to be the timer. So yeah, good game to JB. Two things: the freeze, very annoying, but it happens. It's hacks. What annoys me most is not seeing that taunt. Had I seen the taunt worn off, I just won the game from there. I was at +2 cosmic power. Cryogonal was doing no damage. I just calm mine twice and won the game, because there was like 20 minutes left when that turn happened. I think there may have been more time than that. There may have been like 25-30 minutes, because that was like halfway through the battle. And had I just looked and seen that the taunt had worn off, I won that game 4-0. That's just how it is. Like, unless he got some insane crit with Snorlax, I won that game 2-0, 4-0 even. If Hooper then hadn't got frozen on the switch, then I won. Again, I won 4-0, I think. Maybe Snorlax actually would have taken a Drain Punch and KO'd in return. But then I just go into my Mega Latias and click Psychic twice and it dies. So yeah, that was a rough one, I'm not going to lie. I didn't notice the taunt until I watched this battle back literally just before recording. And it always put me in a mood that I didn't feel like recording, because I'd seen how much I fucked up, and it's frustrating. This should have been a win, and a 4-0 win would have really helped my differential, because now I'm 1-3 -8. I want to say it's a 2-all loss that I suffered here, and I'm not going to say anything about JB. He literally just played the game how he had to play it to win, so I have absolutely no problem with him time stalling. It sucks. It really sucks, especially when you're sat there looking at like, I can't win this battle. I can't actually win it, but I'm gonna be stalled out. Like, if there was one more turn is all I needed to be able to get that KO. But unfortunately, it's just the way things are sometimes. You just, yeah, it can't be helped. Unfortunately, like I said, we go to 1-3 -8, and we face Tony, or Shady YT, and his Buffalo Drills in week 5, and hopefully I don't make any small errors, but it's me, you never know. I think I've got to start paying more attention to what I'm doing in battle and getting my head more into the game, because I tend to be in calls when I do this, and like, I'll get distracted. I'll be thinking more about what's happening in the call than what's in the battle, so I definitely need to be like in a space, like a quiet space basically, and just keep track of everything that happens, and maybe then I won't fuck up like this. So good game to James again. Like, he played the game how he had to. I think I definitely had that win, but it is what it is. Like, it really is. I can't fault him for the way he played. But yeah, I'm rambling on now, so I'm going to end off the video here. And until the next one, guys, have a great day. Peace.